Welcome in, everybody. Skull Buff Sports pregame show is back. Trent Finnegan here with Kieran Wagner, Liam Howard. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're gonna make it work for you guys. But we're here, beautiful day in Folsom Field. We got the guys. We're back in the booth. Feeling good to be back. Feeling good.
Yes, good day. Good day today.
Good day.
Yeah, nice in here.
Supposed to be snowy, supposed to be ugly today, but it's actually a beautiful day here in Boulder. We got sunny skies, 39 degrees, everything's melting. Maybe Prime finally gets his nice spring game weather day, finally, after 2 years of just terrible rain and snow. Any big things you guys are looking for right off the page that jumps off to you, or?
Now, I'm going to go ahead. The obvious one is the quarterback battle. You got to be following this quarterback battle, and this is going to be a big tell for what it's going to look like in the fall. The type of performance that each of these quarterbacks put out today is going to have a lot to say on their standing in this offense next year, and we're going to get to see what the different styles of offense look like with both of them out there on the field. So, very excited to see that today.
Kieran, what about you?
Yeah, obviously with Shedeur Sanders gone, he's been absolutely instrumental these past couple of years here at CU. He's really changed the game, especially when his dad came in. But you also have to talk about Travis Hunter, we're also losing him to the draft. He is arguably the biggest star in recent Colorado history, and he played two ways, wide receiver, cornerback. So there's going to be a huge gap open, and it's really a question with this offense, like who's going to take the spot of Travis Hunter. And it's very rare that we see a player go play two ways. And I don't know if we'll ever see it here again, but the question is, who's going to step in to be the next big wide receiver and the next big quarterback?
Probably won't. And obviously up on the east wall, they're blacked out right now, but Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders' numbers have been put up there. There were pictures posted on X. Their retirement ceremony is today, 2:35. There was a little bit of controversy around the jersey retirement, and for good reason. They cut the line on a lot of guys. Obviously, they did great things here at CU, but there's a lot of players from that 1990 team or the Bill McCartney era as a whole who don't have their numbers up there. You guys, what do you think? You guys cool with it? You think they should have waited in line, or no retirement at all?
Well, when you look at Travis Hunter, he's one of like I've been saying all morning, Trent. He's a player who we're probably never going to see here again in recent history, I guess, with going into the next few years of college football. So obviously, like a player like that, you've got to have your number up there. Shedeur is a little more controversial. Obviously, like Liam, what's your thought here?
Yeah, Shedeur, I think he's definitely the one getting the controversy. Travis, obviously a Heisman Trophy winner, he needs to be up there. But with Shedeur Sanders, I think personally I'm not against it. I think you're sending a guy into the first round of the NFL draft as a quarterback, a guy who came in here and helped to elevate this team that won one game the year before he was here. And regardless of, the next year wasn't as much of a step up as it could have been, but to really reform a culture here and to structure a new culture here at CU that's going to lead them into the future and going to lead new generations of football players that are going to be coming here to CU. I think regardless of any way you look at that, that's deserving of getting your number retired as the captain of this new era here at CU. And so, we could see some more leniency on getting numbers retired in the future. Could be a new outlook on what is required to get your number retired as CU Buffalo. But what an incredible time he had here, going to the NFL and going to continue that legacy there. I think that is deserving of a number retirement.
And Shedeur, single season passing yard record, 4,134 yards. Single season passing touchdown record, 37. Career passing touchdown record, 64. Second team AP All-American, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. He did a lot of good stuff for this program. So we'll come back to them on the draft front, but as we said, Shedeur leaves a void for the quarterbacks. We have Juju Lewis, the freshman. We have Caden Salter, the veteran Liberty transfer. And we got Ryan Staub as well. Everyone seems to forget about him. Obviously, we'll get our first look at them today. Pat Shurmur, offensive coordinator, recently said that the offense will have some similarities, but some differences as well. To me, I see the similarities as more Juju-oriented because he plays a little like Shedeur does. One of the new stuff with Caden Salter, who ran for over 1,000 yards in 2023. So what are you guys looking for from the quarterback front today?
Well, me personally, I think with with Caden coming in, I see him as the more likely starter, bringing that experience in, and then also with the Buffaloes losing Isaiah Augusta to the transfer portal, I think that actually does weigh into this because when you're needing that extra help in the run game, it is going to be incredibly beneficial to have Salter, a guy who has shown that he can use his legs and has shown that he can bring that run threat from the quarterback position. Makes you not have to rely as heavily on their thin running back room that they have this season.
Thin's generous.
Thin is generous. And so they have a lot of they don't have a lot of talent in that running back room. And I think that if this is an offense, and I think fans have been wanting them to use the run game a little bit more, you got a guy like Salter who can sling it and can use his legs.
Yep.
I think that really reforms the offense into something new that they haven't really seen from the Buffaloes these past few years.
And he ran that triple option. Liberty, are we going to get some triple option today, or what?
We'll see.
We'll see. Kieran, what are you looking for from the quarterbacks?
I mean, obviously, I would love to see Salter start today, but you look at, I think everyone's really got their eyes on Juju this year. Obviously, coming in, he's 17 years old. First off, so one of the youngest QBs to ever come into college football this early, and so, but. There's a lot of opinions floating around about what he should do, whether he should be redshirted or not. And Nick Evans, our producer behind the camera right now, he wrote an opinion piece. If you haven't already, go read that on
Go read it. It's a good piece.
It's absolutely incredible. But you have to. It's a gamble, really. I mean, when you bring in like the number 2 quarterback, and the number 2 rated quarterback in the country. Hi, Nick.
There's Nick.
But when you bring in a QB like that, I mean, it's really a gamble. When you also get a veteran from the transfer portal, and if for some reason he's redshirted next season, what does that mean? Do you think maybe Juju will enter the portal next year because he'll be looking for opportunities? I mean, it's a gamble.
That's what's scary, and you see plenty of guys who play 3 games and they don't get their playing time they want, and they're like, all right, I'm going to go somewhere where I can play. So
that's the age of NIL.
That's the age of NIL. So there's the quarterbacks, but then, like I said, everyone's forgetting about Ryan Staub. I'm not saying he's going to play. But they have been saying that he's looked good at practice. He's been doing his thing, and we've seen him in relief very sparingly. The notable game was Utah in 2023. He had a fine performance that day, nothing crazy. But do you guys think there's any chance that he could possibly make some noise, or just kind of a stopgap, still going to be a backup unless he goes somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, my personal thought on it is he's a really good safety valve to have. I think you've got a guy who's been in this program a few years with 2 guys who are coming into it for the first time. If one of them goes down with an injury and then the other one is struggling, that's why we've got this quarterback battle here. So if someone does struggle, you can move to the other guy. But if you see an injury and then you aren't fully confident in the other quarterback, Staub is a guy who can come in and who you know what you're going to get from him. This program has seen what they're going to get from him. And so you've got a more guaranteed product on the field from him than you could maybe say for Julian Lewis or Caden Salter, because we haven't seen them in this offense just yet. So I think he's a very good safety valve to have, and that's a nice luxury for this offense to be able to go into if they need to.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself, Liam. I mean, he's been, like you said, he's been with the program for a few years now. So I mean, he knows Coach Prime, he knows his coaching style. He's seen the staff and the team change over the past few years. But at the same time, I mean, he knows what he's capable of, and he knows that he has at least as of right now, he has an offensive line that he can rely on to help him. So I mean, if for some reason you were to lose your 2 starters, I mean, he is a good option. You can always resort to him.
And then pivoting now to the injury front, nothing super alarming at this time of the year. Phillip Houston, the tackle, he's doubtful. Makari Vickers, transfer corner, possibly. Nobody's going to replace Travis Hunter on the defensive side of the ball, but he could be somebody who could fill those shoes somewhat. But the big one, Omarion Miller, is probable after his freak ankle injury that he suffered in that Kansas State game on that deep ball down the sideline. You guys think we'll get some run out of Miller? I think it'd be good for fans to see their possible wide receiver 1 get some run.
Yeah, I think that, seeing Miller out here today would be incredible. I think that you've got a fully new look wide receiver room almost. With, both Millers have been, they were contributors last year, but they're going to have to step up into these top 2 roles. And so I think, people would love to see Omarion today. And with him being probable as well, I don't imagine they're going to use him heavily because they're going to want to limit that limit the opportunity for injury there because they're going to need him in a big way this season. But I think it will still be good to see him out there and see how he works with these quarterbacks and see how this new look offense is going to be. Just get a bit of a preview going into the season with him.
Yeah, gentlemen, this is the big test here. I mean, this is really this it all comes down to this. What are we going to see from Colorado next season after a huge roster change, losing your stars? And I mean, Miller's been absolutely electric. In the first half of last season, he was incredible. And I mean, when it comes to this, I mean, you're still prone to injuries coming out here. The field conditions are a little bit questionable. Obviously, Ralphie is not running today because the field is a little bit slick.
And if they don't want Ralphie to turn an ankle, I don't want Marion Miller to turn an ankle. That's for dang sure.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, you got to question. It all comes down to the coaching staff. I mean, they'll say, "Hey, do we want to do this right now? Or do we want to make sure that he's healthy for next season?" I mean, if it were me, I personally wouldn't take any chances. But
I agree.
Yeah.
And obviously, this isn't going to be our first look at O'Marion Miller. We know what O'Marion Miller is made of. We know what he can do. USC game 2023, Kansas State game 2024. We know what he's made of. We don't know what a lot of these new transfers are made of. And one of the wide receivers, there's been plenty of wide receivers. Liam, I know one of them you have your eye on is Joseph Williams from Tulsa.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite gets from the transfer portal for CU and really under the radar. I mean, Joseph Williams they had a bit of a thin class coming in from the transfer portal, but Joseph Williams headlines it at the wide receiver position at least. And at Tulsa, as a freshman last year, sparing opportunities, but went for almost 600 yards, including 3 straight 100-yard games against UCF, East Carolina, and then UAB as well. With that East Carolina performance showing exactly what they're hoping to get out of him. He had 3 touchdowns in that game. He had 158 receiving yards. I mean, that is an incredible performance. He's shown the ability to be that type of deep threat receiver. They're losing Will Sheppard this year. They don't have that safety valve down the field, but he has shown that he has the capability there. Incredible jumping ability, great athlete. I think this guy is going to surprise a lot of people this year. You think about LeJontay Wester with him coming into that offense last year, coming from the group of 5, made that transition up to the Power 5 up to the Power 4, and did really well. And I think that we're going to see that from Williams this year, and him being this being his sophomore season as well. He's still got a lot of room to develop, and I think he's going to do that well in this offense.
And you're looking at new guys, Kieran. I know you're looking at a returner for you, who you're excited to see today.
Oh yeah. So obviously there's a whole lot of people I'm excited to see today. But at the same time, when you're looking at transfers, I mean, I look at Colton Hood coming in from Auburn. I mean, obviously this is a more recent development, obviously. But at the same time, I mean, I think what I'm focusing on here is like the culture between the SEC and the Big 12. I mean, Auburn's a much different team. They're known for running that ball. They're very aggressive. But at the same time, I mean, would Colton Hood look good here on CU? I mean, that's what we're gonna maybe possibly find out today. But in all honesty, right now, I've got my eye on him.
And then back on the offensive side of the ball, Sincere Brown from Campbell. Excuse me. I don't know why I said 6'5", 190 pounds. He could be that Will Sheppard deep ball replacement guy. Had over 1,000 yards last season, 61 catches, 1,028 yards, 12 touchdowns. Obviously, playing at Campbell, not playing against the greatest competition in the world. He did have one game against Liberty, against Caden Salter. He went 5 catches, 126 yards, and he had a 74-yard touchdown. Kind of looked like that Travis Hunter touchdown against Kansas last year. Catch the go ball in the cover 2 hole on the sideline, juke the safety, outrun everybody else. He looked good. Obviously, it's going to be different coming to the Big 12, playing against bigger competition. But I want to see how they use him down the field, stretch the field vertically. 6'5", not a lot of people in college football can cover that. So that'll be an interesting one. And then going back to the big guys, obviously, we don't know how much we're going to see from the current guys playing on the field today. But let's go back to the big guys, the retirement, Shedeur, Travis. NFL draft is just 5 days away. Where do you guys think that the 2 Buff stars are going to end up when their names are called on Thursday?
Well, honestly, I mean, when you look at Shedeur Sanders, there's so many options of where he can go right here. But I've got my hometown New York Giants. I mean, obviously, it's been a rough past decade or so. I mean, we had some great opportunities, like in 2023, we had the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, and the Eagles crushed us. So maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I mean, in the past couple of years, we've seen that New York has had some loyalty issues. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, they traded Saquon Barkley last season to the Eagles. He went on to win the Super Bowl. And obviously Daniel Jones, who they made him franchise player, which I thought was very controversial. But at the same time, you look at this and you'd say, like, I also look at Shedeur and I think to myself, like, he's a tremendous player, but his biggest struggle is that he holds on to the ball too long, and that's what we've seen these past 2 years at Colorado. I'm just punching myself over that. So, I mean, if it were me, I would, like, if he's drafted by the Giants, I mean, who are in desperate need of a QB right now.
Hey, they got Russell Wilson. They got. Let's ride.
They got Wilson.
Let's ride.
That's true. But I mean, if you do have Russell Wilson on there, I mean, you could bench Shedeur for a year or so. Have him as your first backup.
Yep.
But also, I mean, just give him a couple of years to develop and mature to the point where he could excel in the league.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm personally looking at the Cleveland Browns at 2. I think regardless, either way, a Colorado boy is going to Cleveland next year. It's either going to be Travis Hunter, it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. It's one of those two. But I think Sanders, I could really see him fitting with Cleveland. I think that Cleveland has a bigger need there than people are really thinking about. Deshaun Watson's injury this year is going to keep him out almost the entire season, and when he has played, it has not been a high level of football. They bring in Kenny Pickett in free agency. That's not a very reliable option to be going to as your quarterback in this season when you need someone to elevate that offense, especially with Nick Chubb, who's been putting that offense on his back the last several years, and his knees have not been holding up with it. And so I think with Shedeur, you could maybe see him go as high as that second pick. I personally could see them trading back up to go get him if he's still there. But I think Shedeur, he's talked about himself being a culture changer. He's going to change cultures. He did it here, and he expects to do it at the next level. Cleveland needs exactly that at the quarterback position. I could see him going there. But Travis Hunter, of course, the best athlete in the draft. Kevin Stefanski has spoke highly of him, especially since seeing him at the Pro Day. And he is now the one favored to go to number 2 to the Browns. But if they do take Shedeur there, I could see him going down to the New England Patriots. That's where I had him going in my best fits article I wrote this past week. And Travis would fit into that. They have a lot of needs on both sides of the ball. Their wide receiver room has struggled, and they need to give the young Drake May, young guy, they need to give him options to throw to. And on defense, of course, Christian Gonzalez has showed that he is a number 1 corner when he's healthy, but he has dealt with injuries in his first 2 seasons, and having Travis Hunter being able to play both sides of the ball there would do wonders for them early in the draft.
So, first of all, Christian Gonzalez, Colorado Buffaloes legend on that 2021 team, not the 2022 team. He was a great corner for them. For me, I'm looking at Shedeur to the Saints at 9. I think that the Browns are going to take Hunter at 2. Giants are going to pass, go Carter at 3 most likely. But I like how you brought up the trade back. I'm looking at the Broncos then. If the Saints don't take him at 9, the Steelers would be the next candidate at 21 to take Shedeur. Broncos are at 20. They've spoken about trading back, letting the Giants or the Browns come back into the first round. Gives the Broncos more draft capital on day 2. I think his best fit is with the Saints. My thing is, if he goes to the Saints, I don't know how bright of a future he has because they need a quarterback, but they have nothing else around him, and he's not gonna win MVP next year. That's for sure. That's just how you see guys who get drafted early on and they go to these teams and they have no help around them and they just plummet. So I think he's going to go to the Saints. I would like to see him fall and go to the Steelers because that's probably where he'd be set up for success most. And then Travis Hunter, I think, like you said, Stefanski was here last week. Stefanski loved him. I think he's going to go at 2. Fills a need on both sides of the ball for him. He can pair him next to Judy on offense. Pair him next to Greg Newsome II on defense. I think he's a great fit for Cleveland. So, and then Kieran, you're with me on Cleveland?
Yeah, I was really with you there, Trent. I mean, obviously, if I could echo what you said and what Liam said as well, I would. Because, I mean, obviously, like, you've got Jerry Jeudy out there. I mean, he's a former Bronco, so, I mean, he's all too familiar with Colorado.
Colorado ties.
Colorado ties, man. You gotta keep that that strength going. But should they go down, or I mean, obviously it's going to be a great partnership. Should they go down? I mean, Travis has proven that he can play both ways of the ball, and he said on social media, he said like, hey, if I can't play both sides of the ball, I'm done. So I mean, obviously that's what he wants, and he's going to be set up for success when he goes to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And then, I mean, obviously, we're here at a spring game. Nobody's going for 400 yards. There's not going to be a whole lot of hitting going on. But football's back. It's good to have football back. It's good to see the last ride on the Folsom grass. Folsom's going to turf after this game so they can get their summer concert series. Rick put some more money in his pocket. Maybe get some more NIL money. I'm just saying. But we got a new State Farm sponsor. We got the black and gold logo. Field looks phenomenal today. It's kind of sad, the last gasp on the grass. You know, it's been grass since 1998. Do you guys think that's going to have a big effect? I mean, I know they practice on turf fields, but do you think it has an effect on game days?
I mean, honestly, if I could say, I think it does, because I mean, you see like stadiums in the NFL, they're slowly starting to switch to turf, like the newer ones being built. But some of them, like you got Allegiant, you got State Farm Stadium. I mean, they've got the fields that roll out. That can be
Mile High's got it too.
Mile High's got it. That's true. So I mean, they're putting grass in, but that's cool to see. But also, I mean, I think the biggest thing when it comes to turf is the injury factor. But I mean, if you're a stadium manager, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your players rather than just hosting more events and just continuing to bring in that revenue. And that's what this world has come to, unfortunately, especially like in sport stadiums and like the sports world. But Liam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on it are, you know, I think as you mentioned, a lot of teams are moving towards the turf. A lot of stadiums are moving towards turf. That injury risk is always going to be a concern, and I unfortunately, I think it's fallen on deaf ears the last several years, and I think at this point, if something was going to be done to try and move away from that from turf because of the injury, it would have happened. I think it's not going to be as big of a concern at any level at this point. So I think the bright side of it is you're preparing these guys for the next level. You're preparing them to play on other turf fields, because that switch from grass to turf it's pretty brutal.
It's bad. It's tough. It's tough to acclimate.
If you got to make it in the middle of a season, especially you're going on the road, you got to play somewhere with turf, that can be detrimental in the middle of a college season. And so I think having the turf out here and transitioning from playing on turf to playing on grass is an easier transition to make. So, you know, the bright side of it is I think it prepares the guys on this team for other locations and just other settings with different fields.
Definitely. Well, that's all we got. Not a whole lot, because who knows what's going to happen. Starters only played 21 snaps last year. The grass, I'm on the turf now. Grass looks to be decent, but it's still a little slick, a little unstable, so I don't expect them to play more than 30 snaps, most likely, just to get a quick taste. But yeah, for Scobuff Sports, I'm Trent Finnegan, Kieran Wagner, Liam Howard. Thank you guys for tuning in to our pregame show, and we hope you guys enjoy the spring game.